He had nothing. No home, no family to call, no money in his pocket, just a library card, a worn-out backpack, and a dream everyone said was impossible. This is the story of a young man who went from sleeping on park benches to walking through the gates of Harvard University. This is the story of the unseen grind. His name was Daniel, 20 years old, smart kid, good grades in high school, but life doesn't care about potential. His father left when he was 12. His mother struggled with addiction. By the time Daniel turned 18, the apartment was gone, the electricity cut off, the eviction notice came. And one cold September morning, he woke up with nowhere to go. No extended family to take him in, no friends with extra rooms, no safety net. Just the streets. For weeks, he slept in parks, under bridges, in bus shelters when it rained. He watched people walk past him like he was invisible. And in their eyes, he saw what they thought. Another homeless kid, another dropout, another statistic. But Daniel made a decision that night, shivering on a bench in the cold. They don't get to write my story. The next morning, Daniel walked into the public library. It was warm, quiet, safe, and it was free. He found a corner table in the back, opened a book on mathematics, and he started studying. Every single day, when the library opened at 9 a.m., Daniel was waiting at the doors. When it closed at 8 p.m., he was the last one to leave. He used the library computers to research colleges, to study for the SAT, to learn things he never got to finish in high school. He read books on physics, history, philosophy, economics, anything he could get his hands on. The librarians started to notice him, a quiet kid, always reading, always writing, never causing trouble. One librarian, Mrs. Chen, began saving day-old pastries from the cafe next door. She'd leave them on his table, without a word. She never asked why he was always there. She just helped. At night, Daniel would leave the library and find a quiet spot under a streetlight. He'd pull out his notebook and keep studying, sometimes until 2 a.m., sometimes until his eyes couldn't stay open. Other homeless people thought he was crazy. Why are you reading? It won't change anything. But Daniel knew something they didn't. Knowledge doesn't care where you sleep. It only cares if you're willing to learn. Months passed. Daniel kept grinding. He took the SAT at a testing center, using money he'd saved from collecting cans and doing odd jobs. He scored in the 95th percentile. The proctor stared at his score, then at his address line. Blank. But Daniel didn't care what anyone thought. He started researching college application essays. He wrote about his story, not for pity, but to show resilience, to show that circumstances don't define character. He applied to 20 schools. Most required application fees. He worked extra hours, skipped meals, saved every dollar. Late at night in the library's computer lab, he submitted his applications. And then he waited. Rejection letters came first, then more, then more. Each one hurt, but each one also reminded him, you only need one yes. One freezing December morning, Daniel checked his email at the library. His hands were shaking, not from the cold, from fear. An email from Harvard University. He stared at the subject line, your application decision. He almost didn't open it, but then he clicked. Congratulations, we are pleased to offer you admission. Daniel read it 3 times, then a 4th. His vision blurred, not from tears of joy, from disbelief. He, the kid who slept on benches, who studied under streetlights, who everyone overlooked, was going to Harvard. Mrs. Chen saw him sitting there, staring at the screen. She walked over. Good news? She asked gently. Daniel looked up, and for the first time in months, he smiled. I got in. I got into Harvard. She didn't say anything. She just put her hand on his shoulder and nodded. Because she knew. She'd always known. This kid wasn't just reading to pass time. He was building a future. Daniel's story didn't go viral. There were no news cameras, no celebrity shout-outs. He packed his backpack, got on a bus to Cambridge, and started his new life. But here's what this story teaches us. Your starting point is not your ending point. The world will judge you by where you sleep, what you wear, what you don't have. But success doesn't care about any of that. It only cares about what you do when no one is watching. Daniel could have given up, could have believed what people's eyes told him, that he was nothing. But instead, he chose discipline. He chose consistency. He chose to believe in a future that didn't exist yet. And that's the difference. Most people wait for the right circumstances, the right time, the right support. Daniel created his own circumstances. He didn't have a bedroom, so the library became his study hall. He didn't have a support system, so he became his own cheerleader. He didn't have privilege, so he built his advantage one page, one problem, one night at a time. You don't need permission to change your life. You just need discipline and a refusal to quit. Today, Daniel has graduated from Harvard. He works in education policy, helping students from underserved communities get access to opportunities. He still carries that same worn-out backpack. And when people ask him how he made it, he says this: "I didn't make it because I was special. I made it because I refused to let my circumstances become my identity. The library gave me warmth, books gave me knowledge, and discipline gave me a future." If you're grinding in silence right now, if you feel invisible, overlooked, or behind, if you've been told your dream is too big for someone like you, remember Daniel. Remember that Harvard didn't accept a homeless kid. They accepted a disciplined, determined, unstoppable force who happened to be homeless. Your circumstances are temporary. Your discipline is permanent. If this story moved you, like this video, share it with someone who's ready to give up, and subscribe to this channel for more stories that remind you you're not defined by where you started. You're defined by where you refuse to stop.